It was in the deep of the night. Dar es Salaam lay awake in its own peculiar way, streetlights glowing like tired stars, engines humming softly, the city breathing through concrete and dust at the regional bus terminal. Doors hissed open and shut as passengers disembarked, their bodies heavy with travel, their minds already drifting toward morning. Inside the bus, however, two souls remained untouched by the movement around them. Johari and Jamal slept. Sleep had claimed them fully, mercilessly. As if determined to grant them a final moment of innocence, Johari leaned against Jamal's chest, her breathing slow and trusting Jamal, slumped against the seat, bore the expression of someone who had been exhausted long before the journey began. They looked peaceful, almost unreal, like children who did not yet know the price of the dream they were chasing. When the last passenger stepped off, the conductor climbed back into the bus and froze. "Hey, hey," he called out loudly, "end of the line!" The words cut through their sleep. Johari stirred first, blinking slowly. Confused, Jamal followed, lifting his head and scanning the unfamiliar surroundings through the window. "Where are we?" Jamal asked, his voice hoarse with sleep. The conductor smirked. "Welcome to Dar es Salaam." They looked at each other, startled. "Dar es Salaam?" Jamal repeated. "That's very far from Wanza. Is this distance enough?" Johari exhaled softly, as if fate itself had answered a question she had never spoken aloud. "We agreed," she said calmly, "that we would board 3 buses without asking where they were going. Wherever the 3rd bus ended, that would be where we begin our lives." Jamal absorbed the words in silence. Then, turning to the conductor, he asked quietly, "Is there a chic hotel nearby?" "There are many," the conductor replied. "But be careful, the city has thieves, tricksters, and shadows that don't forgive mistakes. Take a taxi, tell him to take you to Ubungo Maji. There's a decent lounge there, sleep tomorrow. You can continue your journey." The taxi dropped them at the lodge just before dawn loosened its grip on the night. They paid the driver, exchanged no unnecessary words, and booked a room without questions. Inside, the room was modest, plain walls, a tired bed, silence thick enough to hear one's own thoughts. In the bathroom, Jamal stood beneath the shower, water pouring over his head, streaming down his face like rain that could not wash anything away. His hands pressed against the tiled wall, his head bowed. His father's face rose uninvited in his mind, the way his eyes had pleaded, the way his mouth had tried and failed to form words, the memory burned. Johari stepped in quietly and placed her hand against Jamal's back. He turned briefly, met her gaze, and looked away again. She wrapped her arms around him from behind, resting her cheek against his shoulder. Silence stretched between them, heavy and fragile. "Everything will be okay, my love," she whispered, her voice soft with conviction. "This is our destiny. This is our fate." Jamal finally turned to face her. "That 1 million you stole from your parents," he said slowly, carefully, "if it had been used to treat my father, maybe my mother wouldn't still be suffering the way she is." Johari did not flinch. "Let's not talk about that anymore," she replied gently. "I took that money for our journey. It will help us start our lives. I'll start a small business. You'll do something too. Whenever we earn will sustain us. Besides, your leaving reduces the burden on your mother." Jamal closed his eyes, letting the water strike his face as he thought. Johari searched his expression, love flooding her eyes. She hugged him tightly. "What's done is done. she said firmly. If we run away, then we've run away. We must not look back. We've reached a point of no return. Jamal said nothing. After a moment, Johari released him. Jamal reached for a towel, wrapped it around himself, and walked out of the bathroom without a word. Johari remained behind, staring at the falling water, her confidence slowly giving way to uncertainty. Back in Johari's parents' home, the night refused to bring rest. They sat on the bed, side by side, each imprisoned in their own thoughts. "Don't torture yourself," Johari's father said softly. "Let the police handle this. I'm sure they will find our daughter and bring her home." They said they inspected all buses from 3 in the morning. Her mother replied weakly. How could they miss them when they even gave them pictures? Maybe they left earlier, he reasoned. Or maybe they're still nearby, give it time. He paused, then added gently, "I promise you, if she returns, I'll pay for that boarding school. Even if she fails again, I'll keep paying until she finally passes and reaches Form 3. He tried to joke, forcing a faint smile. If she's repeated Form 2 4 times already, I can't imagine how many times she'll repeat Form 3. His wife let out a weak laugh, brief, fragile, before silence swallowed them again. "She is our only daughter," she said quietly. "A cow never complains about the weight of its horns, no matter how heavy they are. They're part of its body. Johari is part of our lives. No matter her shortcomings, she will always be our daughter." "You're right," he replied. "All the success we've achieved, who else should enjoy it if not her? Even if she grows old in school, it's still her. And if studies defeat her completely, we'll open a shop for her. Only God help us if she doesn't bankrupt it within a week." In the lodge room, sleep eventually reclaimed them both. Later, Johari woke up suddenly. She checked the time on her phone, switched it off, and gently shook Jamal awake. "Jamal, Jamal." He groaned, still half asleep. "It's 5 in the morning," she said. "The first bus leaves at 6. Jamal sat up slowly and walked into the bathroom without a word. His silence felt distant, guarded, like a wall Johari did not yet know how to climb. She watched him go, confusion tightening in her chest. Outside, the city waited, and the road once again was calling. At the very back seat of the bus, where the engine's vibration was strongest and the noise swallowed private thoughts, Johari and Jamal sat side by side among strangers who did not know they were witnessing the quiet collapse of 2 young lives. Jamal stared to the window, not really looking at anything. The landscape slid past, villages, roadside trees, the occasional pedestrian. But none of it reached him. His body was present. His mind was miles behind, tethered to a home he had abandoned too abruptly to say goodbye properly. Johari studied his face in silence. She searched for reassurance in his eyes and found only distance, something heavy pressed against her chest. "What have I done to him?" she asked herself. "I didn't force him to come with me. I asked, he agreed. So why does it feel like I stole something from him?" She reached out, gently lifting his chin so that he would face her. "If you want to go back," she said softly, her voice steady despite the storm inside her, "you can tell the driver to stop. Even here, I won't stalk you." Jamal exhaled sharply, a bitter sound that carried more pain than anger. "Don't test me, Johari," he replied. "You know very well that I didn't leave home willingly. I have disappointed my mother more times than I can count. But this is something I don't think she will ever forgive. And what hurts me the most is the condition I left my father in."